Hey, what's up, guys? I am Monty,
I'm Ed.
and the new Matrix Resurrections trailer. Yes, we seen it. Guys, I got the veterans here today, man. We just gonna, oh man, we don't have time to get into really what the Matrix means because it's too deep, it's too much. But that's a whole nother. That's gonna be a 3-hour, 3-part.
Yeah, that's a late nighter.
That's a lot. We got to be in studio. We got to have some snacks because there's too much to talk about. But the new trailer is out. The word was on the street when they were saying they were going to do it. What did you first think before we even get to the trailer? When you heard they was going to do another one, what was the first thing you thought about?
I was apprehensive. I mean, because nostalgia is king right now, and so just remake after remake, and the last Matrix kind of left a bitter taste in everyone's mouth. So I was like, man, I don't know.
Yes, very much it did. We don't really even like to acknowledge that last one because understand something. The original Matrix was out in
99.
And that was a big time because it was such a groundbreaking thing. And what you saw with movies after that is you saw like The Lord of the Rings. Mm-hmm. They just filmed a full trilogy and put it all together because once Matrix Reloaded came out, it's a good movie, but you can tell there's a difference, because they filmed it way later than the first one,
Yeah.
And I think some of these guys were like, listen, if we're going to do this, and we got a big story to tell, let's just get everybody together, let's film it all at once, let it have better continuity. And that was the thing about between the first and the second one, and then the second one and the third one, just, I don't know what's going on.
Well, the second one, if you view it as strictly an action movie, it's not that bad.
No, it's actually quite good. Yeah.
It's that third one that's horrendous.
It's just.
And here's my thing, like, man, like I feel that Matrix movie might be like top 25 of all time, just in sheer placement, because it's 1999. For all these years, we thought, oh man, 2000 about to come. We about to have flying cars. It's on and popping. Right. And so when that came out and you saw the things that they did in that movie, you were like, man, these 2000s is about to be amazing.
Man, that is an excellent take, man, because I'll tell you what, I remember when The Matrix came out, a couple of my friends, we didn't even see it opening weekend. It was late in the game. I remember the trailer, and I remember just being kind of like, what is that? It wasn't, because you never seen anything like that. He ducking between the bullets and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. And it really threw me for a loop. And I'm a big Keanu fan, Lawrence Fishburne, all of that. And I remember just being puzzled by it. But when we went into that, we went to Edgewood and Lansing by the mall. It was hardly nobody in there. It was like a Thursday night. And when we came out of that mug, we were changed. I remember we just staggered out like, what just happened right now? Like, I mean, everything is flipped on its head. And like you said, we were like, the possibilities are endless.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? So fast forwarding now to when they announced Resurrections, I was like, because I know I had the bad taste in my mouth from Revolutions. Mm-hmm. And I just was like, man.
See, and here's another thing. Like, you say that when Matrix came out, I was 14 years old. And I mean, it's a sad situation, but like Columbine had happened.
Oh, that's
and they blamed it on the trench coats and the guns. So like, I was forbidden to see it.
Wow, really?
I couldn't see it, and then like it was one Friday night, and for you youngsters out there was a thing on Fridays called Blockbuster or Hollywood Video.
Hello,
where you went and you picked movies from VHS cassettes, and if they weren't there, you had to wait.
Yeah.
Well, this one Friday, The Matrix was there, and I decided, tempt fate and be like, let's see if my mom is gonna stop this. And so I grabbed it, and she didn't know what it was. She was like, "Oh yeah, bring it up," and and it was, mine was blown ever since then.
Yeah, I mean, you can't quantify. Like, you see a lot of things that have bitten off the Matrix, so many movies, but for that in '99,
Mm-hmm.
you see the things, the stunts, it still holds up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't see just like dated stuff in there. I mean, you can play it right now. It was groundbreaking. So, and I've always said it's my favorite movie. I mean, you see who's on the wall right here.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that.
I mean, come on now. It's easily, I will always say it's my favorite movie. Again, we're gonna have a Matrix breakdown at one point. Maybe once this movie comes out, we'll really break down because it's too much to talk about right now.
Or before it comes out.
Right, once it's born, because I mean, man, so many layers. But anyway, so trailer, I'm really like, okay, all right. So I watched the trailer again, guys. We already watched it. I'm doing my best for this show for new trailers. We're going to try to watch them fresh, but I got the idea after I watched this one, so we're not going to show the trailer because we already seen it. But when I watched the trailer, let's first of all just sum it up. I watched the trailer. I was very intrigued. I was like, okay, all right. Now, we do know sometimes what you see in the trailer is not always what you see in the movie and all that, and you wonder what they're going to show. But overall, my first impression of the trailer, I was impressed. How about you?
I was pleasantly surprised. I was holding it off, and then I got a couple of texts, and they're like, "Hey man, you need to check this out." So I pulled it up on my lunch break, and I was like, oh, "All right, I see y'all."
Yeah. And it's got some different things in it. It's got some things that are different from what we've seen even in all three movies. First of all, let me say this. I noticed a lot more color. Like the Matrix movies are very dark and green. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of color in this, a lot of brightness.
I think this is by design.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Speak on
it. This goes into one of the theories that, like, basically that whole trailer, I don't believe anything. Yeah. Like, I feel like that's all a construct. Because, like, if you notice, like, they didn't show any scenes outside the Matrix.
Right.
That's all taking place in the Matrix. And I think the machines are doing something in the background that, they're making life beautiful so that Neo may not want to leave.
Well, and we're just gonna jump around for a little bit, but at the end of the Matrix, some young guy tells Neo, like, wow. He was like, go all the way back to the Matrix. Mm-hmm. As if it's like some long ways away thing. In the trailer, Neo, or they call him Tom, whatever, he shakes Trinity, he meets Trinity, and she has no idea who he is. Carrie Ann Moss is in this, of course. She's like, have we met before? You know what I'm saying? So they gotta be within the Matrix. And I agree with you. I don't think we probably saw even 15% of this movie, for sure. But and so Neil Patrick Harris is like this shrink. That's how it starts out. He's interviewing Tom, Neo, and he's like, I'm just having these dreams and things like that. So are there any major things that stuck out to you though in the trailer?
I mean, there's a lot, like the whole trailer, but people are forgetting that, like, Neo died.
Yes.
Trinity died.
Yes.
And so I feel like whenever I talk to people, they're excited. It's like, yo, you do realize these people were dead at the end of the trilogy. Like, we should be wondering, how in the world are they still alive?
Excellent point. That's a good point, because I mean, as much as I've tried to flush Revolutions out of my mind, they did die.
They did die.
I mean, doggone it, Neo was blind as a bat at the end of it. Eyes is all messed up and all that. So I wonder about that. We also, we see what apparently is a younger Morpheus. Yaya is in this, shout out, of course. I will be shocked if we don't at some point see actual Morpheus, Lawrence Fishburne in this. I mean, he's not in the trailer, but there's no way he's not going to be in this. I know.
Well, there's
you got hesitation?
Huh?
You don't think so?
I don't think so. The only reason He might, but the only reason I'm hesitant is because like I was wondering the same thing. I was like, so is this guy supposed to be young Morpheus? Is he a doppelganger? What's going on? And then I researched it, and apparently in '07 there was a Matrix Online game, and Morpheus died in the game.
Oh,
They like shot him with some bullet that like decoded him or whatever, and everybody's saying that that's canon. And so technically, Morpheus is dead, apparently. So
I mean,
I don't know.
hey, we'll put him in with Neo and
But it's
Trinity.
a sci-fi movie, so they could bring him back.
They all dead, I guess, and maybe we bringing them back. That's a good point too. I remember I saw in the trailer there is a. You hate to just stereotype this. I saw like a black woman, younger black woman. So I'm like, okay, is that the Oracle again? Was not like the other Oracles, of course. But it seemed like a younger. I remember seeing that. She might just be a character. I don't know. She didn't give me Oracle. She kind of did. She kind of looked. I don't know
what the girl with the glasses.
Yeah, you know. Okay. There's of course there's a fighting dojo scene in it, but also I don't know if you saw that. There's a couple quick cut scenes in the beginning. There's a quick cut scene of Trinity from the first Matrix when they came in to get her and she was on the phone and she had her back to the wall. It's exactly that same, it's the same look. I don't think it's the same scene, but there's that. And I remember I looked at that real hard, like, what is that? Because it's literally from the original Matrix movie where the first scene when the agents go in and
when she in that room and she does the little jump and freeze
right before the jump. Yeah. And it's that exact scene again. So I'm not sure what that is. I will say this, did not see Hugo Weaving, did not see Agent Smith. So who knows with that as well. But also now I want you to hit on, because I looked for what you told me about and I didn't find it. I didn't see it. So tell me, remember you said something key in this.
Oh, you're talking about how like there's a scene where like they're in like a warehouse and there's a projection of the Matrix playing in the background. And let me see.
Yeah, see, I'm looking for that. I said maybe I'm going too fast.
You can't see it on the phone. Well, it's I felt like an old man putting it up to the webcam. But there's a projection and like people are trying to figure out like, is this part of the history of that particular Matrix? Like, hey, this was like World War I 20, 30 years ago. Yeah. Or nobody knows what's going on. Or they're saying that it's some like the young Morpheus gets a hold of Neo and he accesses these memories in his mind. And when they project them on the screen, it's the Matrix movie. So nobody knows. I just feel like we've seen like 1% of what actually is going on.
Yeah, definitely.
Which is the sign of a good trailer because we don't know anything.
Yeah, well, and there you go. I mean, we should be just questioning, looking at every piece because that's the point of getting us hooked in. Yeah, you know, I wonder what the stuff. I remember the stuff from the architect. You know, every now and then I understand what the architect was talking about, and it's really clear. And it's like, oh man. And then other times I get totally lost again. So I wonder because he always said there are different versions, and we done this over and over again, and we squared Zion and all that. We did not see anybody in the Kanye West gear, as far as I know, from Zion. So I don't know if Zion is still there.
You talk about when they had Cornel West up there, like it was like the Zion Supreme Court.
Do you know what? Let's just real quick. I want to say this. I respect this man's work. I respect his career. Roy Jones Jr. was in the Matrix. Doggone it.
No, listen, this was at like the tail end of. He was such a big star.
That's what I'm saying. And that's what drove me crazy about The Matrix, the second two movies. Why are we catering to the cameos? What are we doing? Like, okay, you want to have Cornel West. I'll slide on Cornel West with other stuff.
He's one of our greatest, African-American thinkers and Matrix ahead in diversity. Roy Jones Jr.
I mean, and Roy Jones just didn't show his face. He had real lines in this mug.
But here's the thing. Usually, if you have a combat fighter in there, he fights.
I was like, Are they taking him as a serious actor? Like he had a real role.
That's what I'm saying. Like somebody was in casting was like, who do we get for these 5 lines? Roy Jones Jr.
Roy Jones Jr. So there's that. But I'll tell you this. I'm actually very interested to see what's to become of this. There's rumor. I heard rumor. Did you hear that? I heard rumor that Jada Pinkett might be in this.
See, and she ain't died, so she
didn't
gotta
die.
be in it. Like if he, I mean, if this is going to be a trilogy and he gets out of the Matrix, she gonna be there.
I mean, you just wonder from there's other characters, the Merovingian, you know, the Keymaster.
Merovingian, my boy.
Yeah, I love Merv. The Keymaster died, but the train guy, who knows? Who knows where we're going with this? But I will ask you this, because I did hear some pushback on that. It looks like John Wick in the Matrix. What do you feel about the appearance of our guy?
Well, I'll just say this. The person who said that is ridiculous, and we both know who said that. Well,
You're not gonna say names.
I ain't gonna say no names out here. But yeah, that person is ridiculous. But
yes.
And you know what the crazy thing is? Somebody else said that to me today. Oh, yeah. They were like, he looks like John Wick. I don't understand that because it's Keanu Reeves. Of course he looks like John Wick. Like, I don't understand. Like, it's been 20 years since The Matrix. So Keanu Reeves' look has changed. He's older. Last thing you've seen him in is John Wick. So he looks like, that's like me saying, oh, Morpheus look like Earl on Blackish. Like, what kind of sense that make? Or like, oh no, that's Ike Turner.
Right.
Like, what?
Anime. Yeah, I mean, people are tied, I think, to what they see a person in their character with. They've seen three movies of just this clean cut guy, whatever. And now he's got a beard. I'm like, it's still, you know, it's not like if they put Tony Stark in a Jerry curl. Like, relax, guys. He's got a beard.
It's the same person. Like, I don't get it. Like, oh no, I ain't gonna watch this. Doogie Howser is in it.
Right.
Like, I'm so confused.
I'm just letting everything be what it is.
Now I got a question.
Yeah.
Is this coming out on HBO Max and in theaters?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Because I think it's coming on
Warner Brothers, then it should be.
But this HBO Max and streaming thing, like, I at first I was on board with it, but like it's killing a lot of movies.
See, let's quickly have let's kind of go bigger picture with that, because we've seen now where there's a lot of studios doing things a lot of different ways, and we kind of seen, you know, there was a big thing with, you know, the Black Widow thing with Disney and what happened with, you know, kind of controversy with that, and because they're streaming, and then some of the actors and, you know, people are like, well, wait a minute now, you know, if we're supposed to get back in off the theater, are we gonna get back in off the streaming and things like that? And I say I make it akin to when iTunes first started up, and it was kind of the wild, wild west back then, because
ain't nobody know what to do.
Yeah, and artists were like, wait, now, do I get money for these iTunes streams too? It's just like the albums, and they had to reformulate the process. I think they're gonna have to do that now. What do you think?
Well, I get that, but it's just the box office, because like at first, when what movie was that? Like Black Widow, it kind of tanked. Folks were like, oh, this dual release thing is not working. Shang-Chi is an experiment. Then Shang-Chi exploded. And then like before, like based off of Black Widow, Sony was like, hey man, we pushing Venom to next year. You know, when COVID dies down. And then Shang-Chi exploded, and they moved it back up to October 1st. And I don't want it to be a case of like, I feel like Shang-Chi is kind of like a cultural movement for, you know, our Asian brothers, where Venom, there's no culture behind it. And so I don't want them to move it forward and it flop. And then everybody's like, oh, well, I guess we were wrong. Let's not put them in theaters.
Yeah, Shang-Chi really surprised me.
Yeah, it did me too.
Matter of fact, it's hold on. I had it. Shang-Chi is at 152 million, which
I
I mean,
never would have guessed it.
that ain't like peak Marvel, but in pandemic, that is huge.
Yeah.
That is, and I honestly think these movie makers, they don't know what to do. They're like, I'm telling you, everybody's looking at Shang-Chi numbers like,
exactly.
Like, oh.
And then watch what's gonna happen. They're gonna release them and not stream them, and they're gonna tank.
Yeah, see, so I don't know. It's a really weird time because I don't know if I was a consultant, I don't know what I would tell them. Like you said, they pushed Venom back up now. They're gonna maybe see that, and I think people are kind of shrugging like that. And I think there's gonna be a lot of fall movies and a lot of big time stuff coming out fall and Christmas, and of course they would love to have people watching these in the theater and make more money for everybody. They love to go back to the old ways. And I think they're trying to see if, because if people are going to come out to the theaters, and let's go. Let's come on out.
Here's my thing. Like, this is supposed to be part of a trilogy, hopefully, this Matrix 4.
Yeah.
And it comes out December 2nd. So, and it comes out December 2nd on HBO Max in theaters.
Oh, okay.
So if this movie only makes 150 million dollars, y'all just essentially lost what, 50 to 100 million if it costs like 200 and then you take in marketing. So it effectively kills whatever trilogy you may think you're having.
Yeah, see, because I wonder, like, what do they make from the streaming numbers? Like, we see hard cash when we see 152 million at the box office. That's hard. That's easy for us to figure out. I don't know what it means if 20 million people, like, they didn't release Shang-Chi, but let's say when they release it, they get 20 million streams. What does that mean monetarily? That's why I say we don't know what the...
Well, with Sony, not with Sony, with Disney, remember, like with Black Widow, you had to pay like $30 or whatever.
Right, there was that part.
HBO is just dropping this month. Like, it's not behind the paywall.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, how are y'all making money, like, where, and like I know, again, just from the music, I remember then, the fight was then, okay, bump just iTunes. What about YouTube? Because now because the artist is like, if 1 million people watch my song on YouTube, ain't that like 1 million song? And they had to figure out, then YouTube they came up with a pay scale, YouTube, title, all that. So I don't know. I don't know what that means for like these streaming places. Like you say, if it's a paywall, that's one thing. And if it's not a paywall.
No, what I think it is, and you may know because it's music, but like with like Apple Music, you pay $10 a month and you could just play songs over and over again.
Yeah.
So do artists get cuts of those streams, right?
Right. Now, see, there's tiers with that. Like, YouTube, you got to have like so many plays. Apple Music, YouTube is the most. You got to have the most to make a buck. Apple, Tidal, Spotify, and they all have tiered. So I'm just paraphrasing, but like, Apple Music, if you get like 2,000 spins, you get this much money, and every 2,000, it just compounds like that. It's a big chart that you can look up. So I feel like if they're going to continue doing these streams like that, then somebody's got to be making some, Scarlett Johansson was real upset because he's like, no, hold on now. I'm supposed to be getting back in from the theater, but if y'all going to put this out on streaming at the same time, where's my cut? And I feel like she was right,
I feel like she was, well, I think she asked for 100 million now. I don't know about that, but she should get some form of compensation.
And the same thing with John Krasinski and Quiet Place 2. They were in that same thing. Like, wait a minute now, what's going on? So I don't know. It's just a weird time because, again, I think Shang-Chi is making everybody say, well, wait a minute now.
Yeah. Because
honestly, if HBO ain't got to put Matrix on streaming, they won't. They'll be like, let it go to the theaters. Let's make more money. And then wait. But they kind of.
Or that's just like what's the other movie? Dune.
Oh yeah.
Dune is supposed to be a 2-parter. Now, if they don't make money in the theaters, again, that's $200 million down the drain.
Listen, they putting buku dollars in the Dune. You just watch that trailer. We ought to talk about that trailer. That trailer's.
Yeah.
I can just. Sometimes you can just count the millions in a trailer. Like, yo.
I was like, that's 50 million right there.
Yeah. The ship and Dune, I don't know what they paid for that. But okay, well, we're about to wrap it up, man. Any last thoughts or anticipations for Matrix, the fourth installment coming out?
No, I'm just, I'm pleasantly surprised and excited. It's got my son, Yahya Abdul Mateen, our son.
Yeah.
And one quick question. What is that poster over your, I think that's your right shoulder with the Hollywood sign? What's that one?
That is actually a shout out. That's Los Angeles with the Hollywood sign. That's the Los Angeles landscape. Again, I
But
bought
that's
that
not a movie or anything?
No, it's just literally the Hollywood sign.
Oh, okay. All
guy
right.
driving in. I bought that before we even did the We Seen It, but it's appropriate now for,
Okay.
So shout out there. I got my Ocean's 12
Uh-huh.
there. Shout out. She ain't your girl, but she my girl, Amanda Dobbins. Amanda Dobbins rolls hard for Ocean's 12, and that's why she is my girl. She made them put that on the rewatchables, and I will always be grateful for that because it's underrated.
You know how I feel about Amanda.
Whatever. You got your people, I got my people. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Amanda, you can call me up. Don't call me.
Oh, she called me up and I tell her to her face.
No. You call me up. Don't call Baron up. But all right, guys. Well, listen. Check it out. Let us know what you think as well, man. This is We Seen It. We got more coming out, man. Again, so okay, let me tell you this real quick. You can catch this episode on the Mighty Sharp Network, but you will also now, we're going to start putting all our shows on the Mighty Sharp Network and the new We Seen It channel on YouTube. We're starting to transition over because we got so many more shows to do for We Seen It. So start subscribing now, guys. We're going to start simultaneously, and then pretty soon we're just going to only do it on We Seen It. So check us out on both of those. Appreciate the time. Of course, y'all know, man, Vegas Food Baron. What's up, man? We getting some Foodie Fest coming back, man. You going to venture out there?
Man, this baby, man, let me tell you. Let me tell you something. I am afraid to go out in public with this baby. Is like the Taliban. It's a new regime. The old food baron is gone.
Yo, this dude.
Like this dude is terrorizing this whole house. It's to the point like where when we go outside, I'm like, hey man, like it's too good right now. We need to just head back home before he explodes. Because I don't want to be that parent where he's screaming and hollering. And like, listen, this dude started screaming and hollering at church the other day. And I was like, oh my God. Like it's a new regime. I don't know when the food baron gonna come back.
Yo, hey, it happens, man. You just gotta listen. Welcome to a new dawn, man. It's you gotta. It's the juggling act now. But Max can watch him. Him and Max, good dog. They'll watch him.
Max don't like Kari.
I always never asked about that.
Like he don't like. I was just down there and Max was minding his business on the couch, and Kari crawled over to his side of the couch and pulled up and like grabbed his paw, and Max was like, "Man, this dude right here," and got up and left. Like they don't know that they're gonna be best friends, but
yeah,
like,
it's coming. But all right, man. I appreciate the time. Please thank your manager as well. Baron Entertainment. Thank you, manager. Appreciate her as well. Guys, we'll be back next time. So you know what to do, man. Be blessed. Stay sharp. Appreciate you, bro.
Deuces.